In 2014, there was an article written in the New York Times by Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s granddaughter about a bear cub found in Central Park. The article talks about how resources were spent for a necropsy and an investigation into this bear cub, but they did not know who did it. Now, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has released a video of himself gleefully explaining driving for hours with the corpse of a bear in his vehicle and then deciding to leave it in Central Park. And in the title there, as you can see, he calls out the New Yorker. So to me, it sounds like maybe they asked for comment. Now, maybe he's making this up for attention, but remember, this man is still running for president, at least in his own mind. But Donald Trump wants him to work for him. This is the man that he wants to have control of your child's health. Let's just take a listen together. This is not an edit by like someone making fun of him, by the way. This is from someone on his team, because trust me, the editing is something else. Let's just go in.
I was taking a group of people falconing up in Goshen, New York, up in the Hudson Valley, and I was supposed to meet them there at like maybe 8 or 9. I was driving up maybe really early, like 7, and that woman in a van in front of me hit a bear and killed it, a young bear. So I pulled over and I picked up the bear and put him in the back of my van because I was going to skin the bear, and it was very good condition, and I was going to put the meat in my refrigerator. And you can do that in New York State. You can get a bear tag for a roadkill bear. And so then we went hawking, and I had the bear in my car. And then we had a really good day, and we went late. We were catching a lot of game, and the people really loved it, so we stayed late. And instead of going back to my home in Westchester, I had to go right to the city because there was a dinner at Peter Luger's Steakhouse. And at the end of the dinner, it went late, and I realized I couldn't go home. I had to go to the airport. And the bear was in my car, and I didn't want to leave the bear in the car because that would have been bad. So then I thought, at that time, this was a little bit of the redneck in me. There'd been a series of bicycle accidents in New York. They had just put in the bike lanes, and saw a couple of people had gotten killed, and it was every day, and people had gotten badly injured. Every day it was in the press. And so I thought, I wasn't drinking, of course, but people were drinking with me who thought this was a good idea. And I said, well, I had an old bike in my car that somebody had asked me to get rid of it. I said, let's go put the bear in Central Park and we'll make it look like he got hit by a bike. It'll be funny for people. So everybody thought that's a great idea. So we went and did that, and we thought it would be amusing for whoever found it or something. The next day, it was like, it was on every television station. It was the front page of every paper, and I turned on the TV, and there was like a mile of yellow tape, and there were 20 cop cars. There were helicopters flying over it. And I was like, oh my God, what did I do? And then there were some people on TV in tie-back suits with gloves on lifting up the bike, and they were saying they're going to take this up to Albany to get a fingerprinted.
Uh-oh.
And I was worried because my prints were all over that bike. Luckily, the story died down after a while, and it stayed dead for a decade. And the New Yorker somehow found out about it, and they're going to do a big article on me, and that's one of the articles. So they asked me, the fact checker said, it's going to be a bad story.
I think it's a great story.
This is one of the stories they uncovered. I just want to put it out there, just for anyone that ever needs it, right? If you're going to do something, like if you're going to admit to something that like you caused like a major police response, maybe don't involve Roseanne. So like really think about what he's saying, right? He's saying that he got this bear, drove for hours to do other stuff, said he had to go to an airport, And then he was with people who were drinking, but he wasn't drinking. Now, okay, sure. Everyone else is drunk but him, and their drunken minds must have convinced him that it was a good idea to plant this bear in Central Park. Now, he turns on the TV. He is a prominent figure, right? Like he's in the Kennedy family. And he decides to just let all this money, helicopters, police, investigations, necropsies, all of this be wasted, right? He decides to do that. And then the story just happens to die. And we also have to believe that and it could be just coincidence, the story that it's like, oh, no one knows what happened. Well, before it died, was written by someone in his own family. And this is the best defense he's got, right? Trying to make it into like a massive joke. But it's weird. You could use that word here just like you can. I mean, obviously he's MAGA, right? Like he's in talks with Trump. We know that. His I forget what member of his family posted that video of him on the phone call with Trump, and Trump wants him in the administration. This is a guy who believes he should be controlling your children's health. He believes in every conspiracy imaginable, essentially, that from what I've seen. I mean, if you go look him up with vaccines, he falls for all of it. And now we have this, right? And you might go, well, it's not, that, like sure, like 10 years, a decade ago, he wasn't a child, right? But, like, you can go, okay, it was a joke that got out of hand. I understand why he had bad judgment, didn't go to the police afterwards because he's afraid, whatever. Let's talk about the modern bad judgment of releasing this video with this editing, with Roseanne in there. It makes him just sound like a psychopath. Like, this video does him no favors. He would have been better off with a New Yorker article coming out and not leaving a comment, right? The only reason I can think that he would admit to this is maybe they've gotten like his fingerprints tested in comparison to the bike or something. This looks bad to me. But he put it out there, right? Like, he still has that Kennedy 24 logo up there with his name. So, yeah, what an election cycle we have. JD Vance isn't the only weird one. Remember that. It's not just JD Vance. It's not just Trump.